Welcome to the Electric Current Rundown Podcast, episode number 20. And I'm your host, Phil Defiance, and I'll always say I'm here to encourage the spread of intriguing knowledge that can spark fires in the minds of those seeking inspiration and truly improving the world. And what I'm going to be talking about on this episode includes two topics. One of them is related to what just happened quite recently, and that was the winter solstice and some differing views I have on it because it just happened. So I just thought it was something that would be a good topic to talk about. And also I wanted to talk about my perspective on an article about longevity and related thoughts. So okay, let me get right into it. It happened on December 21st, quite recently, right? Just like maybe 10 days ago. Well, I don't know the exact date that I'm releasing this episode. I didn't look at the calendar, but it probably was about 10 days before I released this episode, right? Maybe 12 days or 13, something like that, right? But yeah, and on that note, I want to say one more time, Happy New Year. But anyway, so when it comes to the winter solstice, I have a couple views about it. Look at what happens when the winter solstice happens. Especially if you live in the northern part of the world. Because, if you live in Texas or Florida or California or New Mexico or that whole area right down there, well, of course, you don't get it like us up here in the northern part of the continent or the world if you're living in Europe or whatever. But places like Toronto where I'm at, or New York City or Seattle, or, up north, Wisconsin, you could be in any of those places, maybe even Calgary in Alberta. You could be up anywhere where the northern side of the world is at. And if you live in these parts of the world where, it's considered to be the north, you get to see it. So, Texans won't understand this so much. Californians won't understand this so much. They don't experience it like we do. But it's a matter of fact. Once it gets close to December 21st, the winter solstice, over here we barely get any sunlight. Actually, I'm recording this on the day of the winter solstice right here. So, I know it. It's crazy. It's the longest night of the whole year. Holy. It's so dark. You barely get any sunlight. Wow. It's totally different than in the summer months. In the summer, you get so much sunlight. It's an abundant supply of that light, which is beautiful and bright. But, in the time of year around December 21st, instead of light, you get night. Yes, so it's craziness. Well, I'm going to expand on that topic in a moment, but first I'm going to get on this quick break. So, I'm just going to say, everybody likes really good designs, as well as knowing their online order will come quickly. Go to planebold.com to get the designs you desire. Your order will come quick like you expect. And while you want quick delivery, you'll have patience for your order, because when it does come, you're going to have the kind of design you'll love. It will make you stand out, and people will notice, and you'll love that. Go to planebold.com. That's plain, like airplane, planebold.com. Yes, but anyway, so when it comes to the winter solstice, so in that darkness of this time of year, especially as it approaches it, it starts really getting abundant, in darkness, everywhere, around mid-November. So from mid-November all the way to the longest night of the year at the end of December, on December 21st, and even all the way into around January 20th. It's the darkest point of the whole year, especially the darkest night on the 21st, the crescendo right there. Yes. But what starts happening is that around mid-November, you end up getting such low energy levels. The last few weeks, as I said, I'm recording this on the night of the winter solstice. So, since mid-November, I've been experiencing this, and I'm sure many people in the northern hemisphere areas that I was mentioning earlier, like they all are experiencing the exact same thing, like a low energy level. Like, I mean, me, myself, like during this year, I've been doing a lot of all-nighters because I've been starting this whole operation with my clothing store and the podcast, and it involved a lot of planning. So, I mean, I did a lot of all-nighters. But, like, I mean, after mid-November, like, my energy levels, like, totally bottomed out. I've been doing a lot more sleeping for the last few weeks. And you know what? Just thinking back over the years, it's always the same thing. Every single year around this time of year, from mid-November all the way into like January 20th or so. And it's all caused by the winter solstice. And then afterwards, you start feeling more energy once the sun starts coming right back after around like January 20th. And so, I mean, yeah, that's the negative side about it. I mean, you end up really just maxed out. You even if you try to have energy like you did before mid-November, you just can't do it. I mean, that's how I've been seeing it, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same thing. But at the same time, I mean, I want to say, I mean, it's like actually kind of a good thing too. There's a good aspect to it too, because I mean, it's like a recharge, a reboot. Like, it's like your body needed it. Like, I mean, it's kind of like the earth took a nap, so now you need to take a nap. And then after the whole, I mean, after sunlight comes back, like in a bigger supply around January 20th, it's like you get rebooted. You've been refreshed with all the sleep you've been having. And so, like, it's actually a really good thing if you really think about it with that perspective. I mean, it's intriguing. Like, I mean, because that's the other way to look at it. I mean, it's a good thing to get a recharge on your body. Yeah, you've been sleeping a lot more. I've been sleeping a lot more. So, like, I mean, it's actually a good thing. There's the negative side is that I've been sleeping more, and I didn't want to sleep this much. But the good side of it is that I get rebooted. And then after January 20th, it's like I'm back at it, at full charge, charging fully ahead. So that's a good thing about it. I mean, that's the way you got to look at things. Like, sometimes you can see the negatives, but then you see the positives too. You can look at it one way, and then you can look at it another way. Yes, but either way. So, I mean, okay. So now I'm going to get on that last topic as I finish off the episode. But before I do that, I'm going to go on this quick break. And on this break, I'm going to say at planebold.com, we have an expanding catalog of high-quality clothes and consumer goods. If you want really cool-looking clothes or consumer goods at low prices, check us out. Go to planebold.com. That's plain, like airplane, planebold.com. But okay, so now I'm going to talk about, I mean, because I'm done with that topic. It was a pretty cool, like, perspective I gave you, though, right? But, okay, so on the last topic of this episode, I'm going to be talking about my perspective on an article about longevity and related thoughts. So, I'm going to get on that. Yes. Okay, so, I mean, okay. I just wanted to go through those papers, but, yes. Okay, so I read an article recently about this, like, thing. Like, they were talking about this old woman and her advice about, like, I mean, based on her own experiences of what has led her to live a long life. And, I mean, everyone's a little different. I mean, she herself has been a vegetarian throughout much of her life. And so the author of the article wrote, like, things like, oh, if since this worked for her, we all should strive to be vegetarians because, I mean, we can replicate her results. But I have to say, like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I guess it worked for her, but, I mean, I've seen vegans and even vegetarians, but vegans are the worst. And, I mean, I'm not, like, criticizing people. I mean, if you want to be a vegan or a vegetarian, good for you. Do that. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, generally, especially vegans. I mean, vegetarians, not as much, but vegans, like, they look very unhealthy, so I don't know. Like, I mean, they're promoting all this stuff. I mean, if you make that decision as yourself, I mean, for yourself, that's fine, do it. But, like, I mean, the point I'm making is that, like, not everybody's got to be a vegan and not everybody's got to be a vegetarian. Like, I mean, eating meat is a good thing. But, like, I mean, either way, that's the end of this episode, and I'm going to finish off on that topic on the next one, but to finish off this episode number 20, with me, your host, Phil Defiance, at the Electric Current Rundown, where I'll always say I'm here to encourage the spread of intriguing knowledge that can spark fires in the minds of those seeking inspiration and truly improving the world. And till next time, have a good one.